Hi, it's Steve, and it's time for a cup of coffee. So, the question today is, how can I be working on my acting career when I can't even leave the house? How can I develop my acting career during the pandemic with social isolation? Well, you're probably working alone. So what you need to do is work on what you have available to you right now. And the most important thing that you have available to you right now is you. So, job one, take care of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. First, let's talk about physically, because that is really the low-hanging fruit here, right? I mean, the really critical stuff we need to do at this point has been put out there on every conceivable platform. Unfortunately, not all of us seem to be getting it, but it's actually pretty easy. Like, stay at home unless you really have to go out. It's simple math. Unnecessary trips equal unnecessary risk. So plan your trips to limit them as much as you can, and then practice good hygiene. You may remember this from elementary school. Wash your hands regularly and keep your fingers out of your noses and your eyes and your mouth. Yes, you got it. And wear a face mask, because no, it's not a guarantee that you won't catch a virus, but it can keep you from spreading it. And if we're all wearing masks, then we are all working together to prevent the spread, and that is the point. When I was in Kempo, I was taught that the best way to make the training room safe was not just look out for yourself. It was to look out for everyone else. And the numbers bear this out, because if there are 20 people looking out for each other, and you're one of them, that means 19 people are looking out for your safety, which gives you much, much better odds than if you're the only one trying to make sure that you're safe. Think about it. Would you feel safer with one person, just you, looking out for you, or with 19 people having your back? Because I know where I land on that. Now, that being said, there are some things that only you can do for yourself, like making smart choices when you eat, and exercising, and making sure that you get enough sleep. And now, that's not what I'm real good with. But it's like taking out insurance. In order to make sure that we have our best chance at fighting off disease if we catch it, we have to make sure that we are as healthy as we can be right now. Now, as far as mental and emotional health, I am no expert, but I think that this might be helpful. Let's start by being careful about what we're exposing ourselves to when we consume media, news, social media, and what passes for news on social media, because that's a thing. And see, our friends and family on social media who love us are coming across these stories that they just have to share, because either it lifted their spirits, and we all need that, so that's good, right? Or because something scared them and they want to protect us from that, and that should be good, but the problem is they don't always check the facts first. And maybe that's because it's on the internet already, and everything on the internet is true, right? Right. That's the dangerous stuff, because if we don't check the facts first, and someone trusts us, then they might believe something that we trusted because they trust us. But the real source is someone's cousin's friend's spouse who heard it from the sibling of a person who works at the World Health Organization or something. And that is the beginning of a viral campaign that could end up with people hurting themselves, including you. So, my recommendation is check your facts. You don't have to have the greatest Google foo to find them either. You can start with a simple search on the subject line of the message. And in my experience, you will find something pretty quickly. And if you can't find anything to support it or deny it after your best efforts, then maybe you should seriously consider that it is probably not true at all and delete it, ignore it. Don't send it to another soul. Don't put them at risk. Look out for your friends and family, because the more people that are doing that, the safer they will be too. Right? Have their backs. Okay, so the first step is taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally to the best of your ability. Then what about the second step? How do we take care of our acting career? Well, there are a lot of things that we can be doing for ourselves, like read. Seriously. I mentioned that early on, that this is a great step one for anyone who's just starting out, but it is also a great way to maintain and even learn new things. And nowadays, you don't even need to leave your home. You can use e-readers. You can order books online, or even just reread some of the stuff you already have. And I don't know about you, but I always learn something new when I read a book again. There's value added by going back to a really good book. But don't limit yourselves, right? Read things you don't normally read. Expand your horizons, experience new stuff. If you like to read horror stories, great, but move on for a bit. Read an autobiography, a dime store detective novel, spy stories, romance, sci-fi, horror, fiction, nonfiction. Exercise your mind. Just step out of your reading comfort zone and jump into something completely different, right? It will help you to see new perspectives, new viewpoints. And that will help you as an actor when you are interpreting a character in a story or in a script. And watch movies, TVs, dramas, comedies, romances, again, historical fiction and nonfiction. Documentaries. Now, I think it serves us well to find strong character-driven stories as actors, but I don't want you to underestimate the value of documentaries and historical films, because your understanding of different periods in history can be a huge benefit. For example, when you're auditioning for period pieces. And study, which is to say, while you're reading and watching, be a student of the material. How is it presented? What is it that drives the characters? What drives the story forward? What was the takeaway of the story? Is there one? Study styles in the storytelling too, especially in visual mediums, because they can tell you a lot about how a production may be shot. And that can inform you how to approach the next project that you audition for, because knowing the style can help you give an audition that fits the project and gives you an edge in the casting room. If you're a creative type, you write, draw, paint, just create, because you should be tapping into that part of yourself too. There are so many ways that this can work for you. You can use your creative talents as a part of your prep work, right? Use it to get to know your character in ways other people haven't even imagined yet. You can draw or paint, right? So draw or paint scenes from their lives, or even a portrait of you as the character, so that you know every line in that character's face, how it got there and why it's there. If you're a writer, you can write stories about their present and their past and their dreams for their future. What is it they believe? What do they stand for? Who do they fall for? Oh, and musicians, if you play an instrument, you could create a theme for them that helps you to connect to the character. Your own soundtrack to their story. Personally, I love finding a song or a piece of music that represents my character, that I can listen to, and then I can connect to that character with it. Just think of different ways to use your other talents. Use all of the tools that you have available to you. And then practice, right? And I know you hear this all the time, so I'm going to say it again anyway, because I think it always bears repeating. Because professional musicians practice. Athletes are training constantly to get stronger. Painters will paint. Writers put things on paper. And dancers work on their technique to perfection and stretch and exercise. And anyone who loves their craft or intends to make a career out of it has to be training regularly, continuously learning, practicing to improve their skills and the consistency of their performances. And actors are no exception to this rule. We need to keep ourselves in peak shape to perform at the drop of a hat with almost no time to prepare for it. Kind of like an audition. And to do that, we need to practice. So So what might that look like for actors? Pick a new monologue and learn it. Then perform it on camera. Then watch it to see how it looks. Tweak it. Redirect it. Do it again. And then when you're done, pick another one and start the process all over again. You could write your own monologues. It saves you the time searching for material that fits you, because you know you. But if you're training on your own, I would suggest picking monologues that other people wrote also. Things that go against your type. Because sometimes we as people grow more and learn more about ourselves and our abilities when we really get outside of our comfort zone and challenge ourselves. So you can also pick a script online, choose a character that's in it, and work on that script as if you were cast in that project. See, everything that you do once you get cast, you can be practicing right now. So when the opportunity arrives, you'll be ready to take it on. Just don't wait for someone to tell you what to do next. One of my favorite acronyms is FTSO. Figure that stuff out. And you know what your goals are. Take stock of your resources. Figure out what you can do with them starting today, starting now. Then figure out what you still need in your resource pool and what you need to do to get that. And remember, there's no one person who can give you a step-by-step path to your success. They can only tell you what worked for them or what worked for someone else. It's still your path to walk, and you're going to need to figure out some of that stuff for yourself. Because you are unique, and so your path will be unique to you. End of the day, end of this video, the takeaway is this. You need to do the work on yourself and on your craft. Once you've done that, once you continue to do that, that's what's going to put you on your next level. That's what's going to help you keep progressing, even during social isolation in the middle of a pandemic. Don't stop because the world seems to have stopped around you. Keep going. Keep working. Keep being the person you know you are, and keep working on your craft. Coffee's empty, and, well, what's there is cold. That means that I'm done. So here's the thing. I don't think that we're finished today. I think that we got a good start on this topic, but I feel like there's some more left to talk about, especially if you have things established that you need to maintain. So I may want to address that in another episode. If I do, it'll be called part 2 of what we already have here, and that's fine. We'll see. I'm going to be thinking about that over the next week or so. In the meantime, thank you for stopping by. If you like what you saw, then please go ahead and hit me with a thumbs up. If you want to know what's going to happen next, then go ahead and hit subscribe. And then when the next episode comes out, either this or the monologue of the day, then you'll get notified and then you can go and see what the heck is going on. Have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again for the next show. Goodbye. It's cold. It's not quite empty, but it's cold, and that means that I have definitely run my time.